Folks, listen, I want to mention this to you. Workplace sexual harassment. I know, like, we thought we defeated it with Me Too, but it is back and better than ever, folks. I love so much so that when women became equal to men in the workplace, they started groping their underlings just like the scummy men supervisors did. They got a taste of the power, and they went like, whoa, this is what you've been doing for decades? And the men were like, yeah, now you're a part of it. Now you can also enjoy the perks of being like, somebody who's like been at the company or had the right silver spoon in their mouth. And, you can enjoy what it's like to have a taste of power. In the era of the girl boss, it is not unusual to see women that work at banks, that work in, like, high-end areas of, like, downtowns that also cheat on their boyfriends. That is really... I'm just going to say it, folks. I'm a true feminist. I'm a person that believes in the idea that women are capable of the same things that men are. Be that good or bad. I'm just going to say it's a mixed bag, as we like to refer to many things on this show. Mixed bags are very common in this world. Not everything is black and white, and most things are a shade of gray. Nothing is red or blue. A lot of people are a shade of purple. That's just a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, if we're going to have gender equality, I want it across the spectrum. I want women serial killers. Listen, I'm being real right now. I want this to be a world where we are not limited by whatever we happen to be born as. I want this to be a world where we are only limited by they are able to catch you before your crime spree is noticed. That is what listen, whoever's taken out all those people in Minneapolis, it's like they're going to have a legendary run, and then they're going to be like known as the Minneapolis Strangler, kind of like the Scranton Strangler. They're having a generational run. Tons of people are being found in lakes and rivers right now. And listen, it's unfortunate for them that maybe their era of being anonymous is coming up, and we might find out that it's a woman. That's the thing, is that we're entering an era of of girl bosses. We're entering an era of it's not breaking the mold. It's not unique anymore. Women routinely now are going to be the ones that are heading companies, and they're going to be the ones that are getting sexual harassment lawsuits thrown at them just as much or just as frequently as their male counterparts, and this is a beautiful world, folks. And if you don't agree with me, can I ask you this? Can we just not appreciate something that we've worked for in this country? We've worked for a country where men and women, they get paid the same amount if they're in the same positions. It doesn't matter whether or not it's like, yes, maybe they'll go into different fields of work and whatnot. Men's fields are getting chopped up right now because a lot of them are getting broken up by the workforce that is AI. That's a immigration force that the billionaires and whatnot, they're like, okay, fine, you don't want people coming across the border, but fine, we're going to be importing a ton of these man looking ones that are 6 feet tall, all from China. They're going to be coming over by the thousands on trucks. We're like contracts with Temu in order to ship them. It's going to be a little bit scary. It's going to be a different world because, listen, compared to men, women have made themselves essential. They're the ones that have gone into HR. They're the ones that have gone into the work areas where they need to use their mind, and they don't really trust an AI. They don't trust an AI to handle those very sensitive decisions around the workplace yet. Well, that's another 50 years from now, maybe 60, maybe, let's be honest, maybe 20. But we are entering an era where women have more so made themselves essential. More of them are going to college than men. More of them are making better financial choices than men. A lot of these people are, financially supporting their boyfriends. Epic era. You know what I mean? If you're a deadbeat boyfriend, that's a great time for you. But listen, in many ways, it's a renaissance for women, or at least I see one on the horizon. I think that there is going to be, unfortunately, I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to encroach themselves into the male-dominated groups that are these secret societies that are planning the real future. I believe that they are going to function very much like the Jewish diaspora, where they're going to be a pawn, unfortunately. Many of them are going to be sitting at the heads of major companies. However, they're going to be completely beholden to either their religion, their community, their in-group, whatever their little in-group, whatever their religion is, they're going to be completely beholden to that. And they're going to, whether or not they're a woman, it doesn't really matter. They're just another figure that works in favor of grander purposes that they're not able to understand. Folks, the dangerous blackout game, it's now called the Blackout Challenge, but I remember it when it was the Blackout Game, where, your friend would, put their hand on your sternum or, right on your throat in order to cut off airflow to your brain, and it was the Blackout blackout game. You just wait. You did that until the person passed out. And, this right now, platforms on like TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, they're already warning people, get some help if you're looking into this, if you really want to recreate this type of a thing. This happened, this had a resurfacing in 2022 as the blackout challenge, but now teens are doing it again. This news story came out just 4 days ago.
An online trend so disturbing, it has South Australian schools on high alert.
Oh my God, this person...
Commonly known as the blackout...
That person fell back onto their bed and then fell forward and likely cracked their head onto the floor.
Challenge or choking game.
The choking game.
Experimenting with techniques to lose consciousness.
Oh, stupid.
Temporary feelings of giddiness or euphoria.
It's not safe.
It's your brain cells dying. By the way, this is your brain being cut off of oxygen. Your brain cells can begin to die. It's very much like people who huff gasoline. The people who have huffed gasoline in order to get a high off of it, it's because it's the neurotoxins literally sending your brain into panic mode, but you feel giddy off of it. And some of these people have decimated their brains off of it. There have been, horror stories of people who have ended up paraplegic because of it, and it's horrific. And the unfortunate thing with gas, as an inhalant, it's an infinite supply, because when you're just huffing the fumes off of it, then you're not actually, it's not evaporating nearly as quickly, especially if you store it in a cool, dry area like they recommend that you do. It's an infinite supply of a drug, and it's the stupidest thing you can do for you, because every single usage, literally speaking, makes you dumber. I don't know.
It is not a game. We know that these trends take off, and we know that social media drives these trends.
Some Adelaide schools writing to parents, warning of the dangerous activity after an internet resurgence.
Oh.
So the blackout challenge has been around for quite a while.
2008?
So let's go back to around 2008.
Yeah.
Social media-based challenges.
Children seen holding their breath, applying pressure to the neck, often with belts or scarves, cutting off blood supply to the brain.
People can start to lose consciousness in as little as 10 to 30 seconds. And within about 1 minute, we start to see death of brain cells that by about 3 minutes becomes quite severe and irreversible.
The South Australian Education Department...
Why would you ever risk it? I understand that these kids, they're stupid and whatnot, but even for the people that have tried it, and they're well-researched, the same people that try nitrous oxide, that's another thing that I warn people about. Don't do nitrous oxide. Disastrously dangerous. It has a cumulative effect. Many people don't realize this because so few people have fucked themselves up on nitrous oxide, but its cumulative effects essentially affect your spinal cord, essentially to the point where you will develop a neuropathy type of a thing, where when you will go numb at a certain point, but when the feeling returns into your fingers and whatnot, it will, instead of the feeling sensors being activated, it'll translate that as pain, because the nerves, they work the same way. They translate pain the way that they will also translate feeling. They just have to be activated for the pain receptors, and the pain receptors will be reactivated. So it will give you a chronic neuropathy that there is no cure for, as far as we know. There's experimental stem cell repairs, obviously, because they have to figure out if it works on billionaires, so they got to try it on the people that fuck themselves up with nitrous oxide. But listen, they're using that to treat Parkinson's for billionaires and people who have money and whatnot. This is why, they've had the ability to treat disease for the ultra rich and famous since as far as we can remember, but very obvious examples, Magic Johnson and whatnot, where he had the cure for AIDS, HIV and whatnot. His wife genetically was unable to get it, interestingly enough. All of these little things where it's just okay, why exactly are poor people dying of AIDS every single day, as far as we're seeing? Even the rich and powerful lawyers like Roy Cohen, because he was gay, he ended up getting AIDS. And, I'm not going to make any assumptions as to where Magic acquired this illness, as to whether or not he swings with the fellas, or if, he I don't know, maybe he swung with a woman who swang with, maybe swang with the wrong crowd. That could also happen. That's another occurrence where people get this disease. I don't know why I'm talking about it like it's like this new thing and we have little to no reason. I'm talking about AIDS like I'm talking about COVID. It's been how long exactly? Over 40 years? All right, yeah. Many of these people grew up knowing about AIDS.
Telling 9 News it's implementing a range of policies and procedures to prevent risk-taking behaviour by young people. 10-year-old Nyla Anderson died in the United States attempting the challenge.
She was my butterfly,
My butterfly.
Social media platforms like TikTok now displaying warnings when the challenge is searched. Schools are now urging parents to talk to their children about dangerous online trends and challenges, which can appear harmless but carry serious risks. Experts believe it can impact motor function, memory, and communication in underdeveloped brains.
Be aware of what's happening. Have the conversation.
Sally Marshall, 9 News.
9 News. Ladies and gentlemen, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, otherwise known as AIDS, was first officially discovered and recognized on June 5th, 1981, when the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published a report detailing an unusual cluster of pneumonia in 5 young men in Los Angeles. The virus that causes AIDS, HIV, was later identified in 1983. French scientists at the Institut Pasteur isolated the retrovirus HIV responsible for the syndrome. Interesting. Well, happy 45th anniversary to AIDS, ladies and gentlemen. June 5th, was that its birthday? Whatever. I mean, interesting if you're older than AIDS. Are you older than for the age of 45? If so, you are older than AIDS. Can you imagine being older than AIDS? That's a brag. I still tell people I'm older than Google. I'm older than a lot of things on the internet. I'm older than, I think, YouTube. I think that was around 2000 and something. When was YouTube? When did YouTube debut? I love the term debut. February 14th, 2005. Yes, I was older than YouTube. I love this. This is a very fun fact I love to just throw at people to let them know that I'm unk slop. You know, I accept that. I accept that about myself, that I am unk slop. I accept that I love Half-Life. I accept that I enjoy all of these, older things that are, retro and admittedly not as great as I remember them to be and whatnot. Whatever. I don't care. I have memories attached to them, and I'm not going to detach them just because it makes me an unk to look back on the past very fondly, even if the games are of a lower quality. Authorities in New York City are investigating new video showing 3 people climbing out of a Manhattan manhole in the middle of the night. People are living in the sewers. We know about this. This is where homeless people routinely like to shack up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying just have sex. I'm saying also that it's like Minecraft. You have to make a bed, you have to find a place to hide and whatnot. This is human nature. Humans, when they first go into Minecraft and they don't have enough resources for a house, they literally dig into the ground and they put a block above them and they sleep there for the entire... They don't sleep really, they just stand there for the entire night. But then, once the sun comes up and once all the zombies die, they are comfortable to wander the streets again.
Now to a deepening mystery here in New York City. Police are investigating new video of 3 people emerging from a sewer in New York City. It's just the latest in a series of similar and disturbing incidents in recent weeks. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, the NYPD investigating this new video showing 3 people climbing out of a Manhattan manhole in the middle of the night.
Why? What are you up to?
One by one, some in all black, wearing waders and headlamps, emerging to the street just feet from Penn Station and Madison Square Garden.
Are they wearing no
It's the latest
shirts?
in a string of bizarre incidents in the belly of New York. This group, oddly similar to the ones police were trying to identify weeks ago. Seen here, also wearing waders, carrying flashlights, and prying open a manhole, then slipping into the sewer. In another incident...
I imagine the waders are so you can wade your way through gray shit water. That's disgusting. How vile.
Police investigating 7 men, also with headlamps and shovels, spawning from the sewer system in Brooklyn.
Spawning.
One guy almost gets hit by a car.
Who?
Police think these groups are hunting for valuables. The city's Department of Environmental Protection says it inspected the sewers around this latest incident and found no damage to the infrastructure.
And Lindsay, officials stress that entering the sewer system is not only extremely dangerous, but it's also illegal.
Okay, first things first, I think that should be taken back. I think it should be perfectly legal for the public to explore the sewer system. Listen, they paid for it. I think every person has a right to be that stupid if they want to die of noxious fumes in a area where they might have built up and there's no oxygen. I think every person, if they are that stupid, I think that listen, certain laws only exist to protect stupid people from themselves, and unfortunately that has allowed them to have children. And listen, I'm not one to believe in eugenics. I'm one to believe in not even natural selection. I'm one to believe in nature. I'm one to believe in just like that things are what they are. Folks,